Can you please help me read our title for the lecture today? What kind of notes are we doing today? Tyler. Thank you. You will give me, every graph I give you, you're going to give me one piecewise function. Okay? There are multiple steps here, 4 to be exact. These are guidelines, so let me give you guys about 2 minutes to write it in. 2 minutes to write this in. Sophia H., can you help me read number 1, please?
Write proper piecewise notation.
Yes. Okay. So learning writing how to write a piecewise function is like learning a new language. Okay. There's particular notation that we have to use. So we are going to use all of that today. Number 2, Chizuki, help me read.
Determine the number of equations. How many pieces does it have?
Right. How many pieces does each equation have? Autumn, number 3, please.
Find the domain of each piece. Look at the endpoint. Is it set in array?
Perfect. And number 4, Santana.
Write the equation of each piece. Find the point slope, write the point slope form, and then slope intercept.
Okay, so this means you have to remember how to write an equation of a line. What do we need to write an equation of a line? We would need a slope. A slope. What else do we need in addition to the slope? Any point on the line. Okay. So it says, hey, what is the piecewise notation? What's a proper? You will start with f of x. Okay. You will start with f of x. Now, even though on example 1, by the way, how many pieces do you see on example 1? 3. 3 pieces. How many function is that? 1. 3 pieces, 1 function. Number 2, how many pieces? 2. How many function? 1. Okay. So I can give you 10 pieces. It doesn't matter. It's still 1 function. So that's why, can you guys see that's just 1 f of x? Okay. 1 function means 1 f of x. Then I would like for you to, try your best to make this crazy bracket. Even I can't make it myself. Okay. So it's like this. Make your crazy bracket. Big bracket. This contains all of the pieces. Then because you guys answered 3 pieces, we're going to have 3 constraints. Okay. What that means is this is one line for the output and then the constraint for piece 1. Second line for the output of piece 2 and the constraint for piece 2. 3, the third line for the output of the piece 3 and constraint for piece 3. Okay. Constraints is where the domain is supposed to be for each piece. So total, really 6 little lines there. So make 6 little lines and then we're going to fill in every single one of those lines. All right. Here we go. We're going to start with the first piece. And when we start with the first piece, we're going to go from left to right. And I'm going to use different colors, okay? So we can see what's going on. Piece number 1. We are going to fill in the constraints here. That means it's talking about the domain. What is the domain of piece 1? What is the domain of piece 1? It starts at -6, yep. It keeps going, Okay. Can you guys see piece number 1? And when we say piece number 1, we're going from left to right. It's a segment. A segment has a starting value and an end value, okay? Can you guys see that starting value is -6? What's an end value? -3. Now, in between, we write x, right? Because x is in between of that. True or false? True. But is x bigger than or less than -6?
Less than.
Bigger than. Is it just bigger than or equal to? Also equal to. How do you know to put an equal to right there? Because it's a closed circle. Now, at the same time, is x less than -3 or bigger than -3? Less than. How do we know to not put an equal sign right there? It's an open circle. That's just x for the first piece. Guess where I put this? Right there. Okay. This constraint goes right there. And the constraint is always the easiest part of writing the piece Y, so that's what we normally want to start first. Let's go to piece number 2. Is piece number 2 a segment or array? Does it have a starting value? What is it? -3. Does it have an ending value? Where is it? 4. Now I'm going to put x in the middle. Okay? X is in the middle. Is x bigger than -3 or smaller than -3? Bigger than. Do I put an equal sign below it? Yes. How come? Because it's close. How about 4? Is x bigger than 4 or smaller than 4? Smaller. Do I put an equal sign? No, because it's an open. Guess where that piece goes? Take that and put it in right there below. We're going to write all of the domains first. So this one, x is bigger than or equal to -3. At the same time, x must be less than +4. Okay. Then we are going to do the last piece. What's going on with the last piece? What is it array or a segment? Array. It's array. Does it have an end value? No, it has a starting value. What's that starting value? 4. We are starting at 4. Now question number, we're starting at 4 on x. Is x bigger than 4 or smaller than 4? Bigger than or equal to. Okay. Naomi and Christian, we just started the notes. We just wrote down the domain for each piece. Okay. Thank you for volunteering, guys. I want to wait for a little bit for Naomi and Christian. They've helped us volunteer. On Thursday, we'll follow them. Okay. Any questions on how to find the domain of each piece? Now, some of you,
Sorry.
No.
Why did you put x before 4?
Oh, because it's easier for, because this one, students can read x is bigger than or equal to 4. Technically, if you really wanted to, you can put 4 first. But what's happening to inequality if you put 4 first? You gotta go this way. Either one's totally fine. Now, class, some of you like interval notation a lot better. if you like interval notation, technically you can go from -6 to -3 for that notation. Or you can go -3 to 4. Would those be okay as well? Or interval notation, you will start at 4 and go all the way to where? Where does that domain go? To infinity. I will take either format of the notation. Okay, again, I would take either format of the notation. Now that's the x, that's the domain. I'm going to wait for a little bit and then we will go on to how to write the pieces in the front. These 3 pieces in the front, what do these give you? The equation, the y values themselves, okay? So these are the x values. You use this to plug in to get the y, okay? So earlier, the guideline says you need to find a slope. Then you need to use one of the points to do point slope form. Sometimes you can just count, okay? But if it's not clear, then just use 2 points. So on the test, you can use inequality or what? What kind of interval notations? Okay? I will accept either one. All right, let's do the first piece. On the first piece, I would like for you to help me pick this point. How do I label this point here in the first piece? What is that point right here? That -6, comma 1. And then this point over here, what is that? -3, comma 4, okay. You have 2 points. When you guys pick your points, make sure they are nice points. What do I mean by nice points?
They're exact.
They are exact, like the corner of the 4 little boxes, okay? So with 2 points, can I find a slope?
Yes.
Yes, let's do it. Ready? Dahlia, what is the formula of the slope? Perfect. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So m equals, Maggie, what's y2, hun?
Y2 is 4.
Good. And then Naomi, what's y1, hun? Good. All over. Devin, what is x2? Very good. Minus, what is hun? What is x1? Good. So on the top, you should have what, Diego? On the numerator, what's the numerator? 3. Very good. Riley, what's on the denominator? 3. So class, your slope is 1. Okay. We're going to use the slope, and we will use one of the points. Okay. Wyatt, out of those 2 points, which one do you want to use today? Beautiful. We are now going to use a point slope form. Here we go. Y minus y1 equals the slope times x minus x1. So y minus, because y used -3 comma 4, I would now minus a 4. Your slope is 1. So 1 times x minus a -3. Okay. So now, what do you do here to get y equals mx plus b format?
Distribute the 1.
Yeah, distribute the 1. So y minus 4 equals, when I distribute the 1, does anything change? No. Can I just write x plus 3?
Wouldn't it be x plus, oh, never mind.
Yes, I'm always writing the 1 step more than normal Wyatt, but you can go straight, okay? Would you agree? Now I'm going to add 4 to both sides. All right. Then y equal to x plus
7.
Okay. We're done with piece number 1. What would you write on that very first line? Is it y equals x plus 7 or the whole thing? Just what?
X plus 7.
How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the y in here? Because y equals x plus 7. How come I'm not going to write the
Because f of x is y equals.
Yes, f of x is y equals. You're just writing x plus 7 in that very first line. You lose little points if you write the y in there. We don't need multiple y's, okay, like that. So that piece gets in there, only that piece. We will do the same thing for all the pieces. Now, sometimes, guys, you're going to be able to see the slope right away, but if you don't, that's how we find the slope. Piece number 2, do we need to find the slope?
No.
What is the y value always? It's just 2. So guess what we write there? 2. Like 2. Now piece number 3, I would like for you to help me label this point right here. What is that point right there? Bless you. 4,6, thank you. And then now I want you to find some nice points somewhere else. I need 2 points. 7, 0? Oh, I love 0. Is 7, 0 going to be okay? Yeah, I love zeros. Okay, 7, 0. All right, now I would like you to help me find the slope. Find the slope, and then I'll shuffle your card to give it to me. Find the slope. You got 2 points. Once you have the slope, can you compare that with your team members? So at least you guys are on the same exact path. All right, Kyler, what's your slope? -2. Do you guys agree? Perfect. Then now we need to pick one of the points. Olivia, out of those 2 points, what's your favorite point today? Yes, me too. All right. Y minus y1 equals to the slope times x minus x1. We're going to fill this in. So Megan, tell me what to write in, please.
Y minus 0 equals -2x.
Beautiful. Let's distribute. Y minus 0 is the same thing as just saying y. -2x. -2 times a -7 is what? Sophia, C. -2 times a -7? Beautiful. Are we done?
No.
What do we do now? Write it in. Y equals -2x plus 14 on that line?
No.
No, just what?
-2x.
-2x plus 14. Good job. Now, guess how many function that is? One function. How many pieces? 3. Okay. We're going to do something very similar to number 2, except on number 2, how many pieces? 2. All right. Write your big old f of x, and then this time probably not as big as a bracket, just because, as you can see, I only have 2 pieces. Okay. 2 pieces, so line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. There you go. Would you agree that sometimes you can count the slope? Yeah. If you can count the slope nicely, you are more than welcome to do so. We will start with the domain of each piece. Okay. Piece number 1, a segment or a ray. A ray. Where does it end? It ends where? At 3. Okay. Is it bigger than that? Or the x value is bigger than that? Or the x value is smaller than that? Smaller. So you can write x smaller. Do we put the equal sign below that?
No.
No, because it's an open circle. Open dot. Above it, segment or array. Array, where does it begin? Also at 3. Also at 3. But is x bigger than that or smaller than that? Bigger. So would you agree that you can technically write this way, or you can do here, but what happens? You flip it. Yep, x is bigger. So either way, I will totally accept. Okay. How about if some of us like interval notation a lot more? How would you write this one as interval notation? What would you do on that blue one on interval notation? It's less than, so what would you do? Negative infinity first. Negative numbers go before positive. Okay, how about this one? What would you do here on that interval notation? 3. They're not both parentheses, right? The inclusive, which is the bracket, the non-inclusive will be the parentheses, okay? All right, so let's do first piece, the blue. Okay. Let's label that open dot right away. What is that at? 3, 1. Okay, now I want you to find another nice location.
0,
Oh, I love zeros. Yeah, 0, 4. All right, you and your team, I would like for you to help me find the slope of the first piece. The blue piece, what is the slope? y2 minus y1 all over x2 minus x1. Once you have the slope, I would like for you to share it out. So if you got the slope wrong, guys, then the whole equation's wrong. So Grace, whenever you're ready, hon, give me the slope of our first.
I got -1.
-1. Do you guys agree? Yes, beautiful. Then we are between the 2 points that we have. Which one would you like, Trevor? Which one would you like to use today? What point? 0, 4 or 3, 1?
0, 4.
Okay, perfect. Then to go ahead and fill it in. Y minus y1 equal to the slope times x minus x1. Help me fill this in, please, Jake. What do we write?
Y minus 0.
Y minus y1, hun. So what's your y?
Would it be 1?
Trevor picked 0, 4. So what?
Oh, okay, I wrote it wrong. So minus 4
Equals.
-1.
Beautiful.
Parentheses x minus 0.
Beautiful. X minus 0 is the same thing as just x, right, y'all? So y minus 4 equals -1x, so just negative x. How do we move the 4 over? Add 4 to both sides. Okay. So y equals -x plus 4. Okay, what do we write, Nathaniel, on that very first line of our f of x? Thank you, sir. -x plus 4. Good job not saying y equals. Now, let's write the equation for ray number 2. I would like for you to help me label this closed dot right here. Where is that at? 3, 4. Okay, good. Then I want you to find a nice location, because this one it's a little bit blurry for me.
Is it 8, 7?
Oh, yeah, ours is too.
What is it?
8, 7.
8, 7. Is it nice in the middle of 4 little boxes at 8, 7? It looks like a little bit off, huh? 8, 7? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 5 is a little bit off too. 6, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is 6, 6 in the middle of the 4 nice little corners? It is, but we just all have to agree. Is 6, 6 okay? Yes. All right, let's do it. Sometimes when the notes or the computer doesn't do a good job of copying, then we just have to agree. Okay, find the slope in the purple ray. And once you have the slope, I would like for you to share it out. Have the slope, share it out, and then go ahead and proceed to using the point slope form to write your line. Elena, what is your slope, hon?
2/3.
Elena said 2/3. Do you guys agree? Yes. Okay. Then we are going to pick a point. Nathaniel, what point is your favorite point today? Okay? What would you like to do next? Y minus 6. Keep on going. Equal 2/3. Parentheses. X minus 6. Okay. Very good. Okay, guys, go ahead and help me distribute out to 2/3. Equals 2/3 x. Minus, this is really 2/3 times 6, right, guys?
Yeah.
6/1, which is what? 4, okay. So that's going to be 2/3 x minus 4. And then add 6 to both sides. Okay. Add 6 to both sides. So this is going to be y equals 2 divided by 3x plus what? 2. Good. So write that piece in that second line of ours. Okay. You have one more, and that's a check for understanding. What that means is you and your partners all have to do it together, and then one team can demonstrate to us. 5 minutes on the check for you?
Great, less, right, left. So, greater, lesser. Negative, greater, if it goes this way. Say there's a line. And it goes over here, that's greater. Left is less, right is greater. Here, watch, I'll give you
Negative.
Here's the graph. The line is right there. This is negative. Less than. Say the rays are going down.
Let me make this a little easier. So wherever the left direction is going, you will fire the
Either way, it wouldn't matter.
Sure.
How do you know if x is greater or less than?
X is greater than. So let's look at some arrows, right? can you tell me if this arrows is going to the right or left? To the right. So if it goes to the right, hon, then that means x is bigger than that starting value.
So then if it goes to the left, it's less than that?
That's right.
Oh, that was a lot more simple. Okay.
You know, okay.
So we go from left to right.
You go from left to right.
You know that one at all.
They're both segments. You're right. So this should be in. Uh-huh. Whatever point. You get to choose a point. Any point on the line is fine as long as normally most people use the easiest point to calculate. Okay. Don't forget an equals. Yes, Wyatt.
I have a question on this.
Sure.
Greater than or equal to x and less than or
Your inequality symbols cannot go opposite directions. They have to go the same exact directions. Notice how they're both going to the right or both going to the left.
Okay, so how would I?
So go back and fix it. Right now you're saying x is less than 2.
Less than or equal to 2.
X is less than or equal to 2. And then 2 is less than 0. 2 is never less than 0. Right?
What do you do if it's like not on the line at all? Like it doesn't cross anywhere. Like it's always like a little bit off.
May I see?
Yes.
Then looks like that could be like on the line. So like pick that one because sometimes the computer is just off.
Okay.
All right, guys, here we go. Perfect. That's your 5 minutes. The winner of this execution is Brian team. Ready, Brian?
Yeah.
Team Brian. Brian, can you tell me the domain of segment number 1, which is the left segment? What's the domain of that?
It goes -1 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to.
Did you guys agree with Brian's team? Yes, I'm going to write right there. -1, which is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 0. Perfect, Brian. Nice job. Team number 2, Hannah's team. Can you give me the domain of segment number 2, which is the right segment? So
0 less than or equal to.
0. You know what? Technically, because Brian already used the equal to on the first piece, this one you can't use the equal again. So pick where the equal goes, but only one of them. So 0 is less than x.
Less than or equal to 2.
Beautiful. Now, class, some of you, and it's totally okay, some of you put the equal on the second piece, which is totally okay. But that means you can't put equals on the first piece as well. How come you can only do that to one of the 2 pieces? What's the reason behind not able to have equals on both? Why? Yeah, because they're gonna have, then you're gonna have, would you agree that they're not function anymore, okay? So pick one or the other. All right. For this one, is it easier to count the slope? Or is it easier to find it algebraically? Find it algebraically? Okay. What is the slope? Team Christian. What is the slope for segment number 1? -1. What's a y-intercept for segment number 1, Christian? 0. So what's your entire equation for that first piece?
1 minus 0 over -1 minus 0.
Okay, so y, did you say y minus 0?
1 minus 0.
1 minus 0? I'm sorry, what?
Are you talking about the equation for the slope?
Yes. 1 minus 0 over? -1 minus 0. Good. So the slope is -1. Can we agree with Christian? -1 is the slope. Then what do you guys do from there? What do you guys do from there once we have the slope? Guys, technically, remember, we use point slope form to get to the slope-intercept form. But let me ask you this. This is the slope-intercept form. But if you already know the y-intercept and you know the slope, can you just go straight? Yeah, you don't have to plug it in and FOIL it through or distribute it too. So this one, can I just write negative 1x or negative x plus 0? Or do I even need to write 0? No. So this one, class, you can just write negative x or negative 1x. Okay. On the second segment, technically, can you count the slope? Can you count the slope? Yeah, what's the rise? Nathaniel, go sit over there. And both of you, please stay at tutorial. All right. What's the rise for segment number 2? 1. What's the run? 2. So technically, can I just write 1 over 2 for the slope? What's your b value? What's the y-intercept? Where does it cross over the y-axis on segment number 2? 0. So do I need to use a point cell form? No. You can just straight up write in 1 over 2x. Okay. Do I need to add a 0 at the end? No, right? Now, what if I'm missing the x's? Would that be correct or incorrect? Incorrect. So make sure we have the x's in there. And that's an egg roll for the lecture. You have your homework. Go ahead and get a head start.